Hey guys, it's Brick Thunder, and today we are less than 2 weeks away from the second biggest day of the year, Transworld. Alright, so in this video I'm going to be doing kind of a rundown on what to expect within these next 2 weeks, what to expect at Transworld if you're new to Transworld, and also what we've seen already. I think a good way to start is just describing what it is. For anyone who doesn't know, Transworld is the largest Halloween and horror convention, and it's held once a year. Now, the date kind of changes around. This year it's March 7th, and it runs for 4 days. And this is the ultimate convention for all horror enthusiasts, haunters, and home haunters as well. It's held in St. Louis, Missouri every year. It used to be here in Chicago, but it did move, and now it's been in St. Louis ever since. And in the convention, you'll find stuff like masks, makeup, that side of the industry, but also you'll find stuff like huge, crazy animatronics that you wouldn't find in like a retail store. It should definitely be on every horror enthusiast checklist to go at least once, because there's so many cool things that you can at least just get ideas from. You don't even have to buy anything. You can just walk around, get some awesome ideas for your haunt, display, or whatever. And yeah, there's so many awesome things there. So, covering what we've already seen from companies, first we got some retail stuff. There's hardly any retail stuff there. This is more about the professional side of the industry. But Morris Costumes did release at the Halloween and Party Expo. That stuff will be at Transworld. They bring their stuff. You can order in huge quantity, or you can just order one of each. And that is a good place to get them, because you are among the first few people to be able to actually order those, the people at Halloween and Party Expo and the people at Transworld. And then later on, a few months later, they'll bring them to the sites. But for professional stuff, we've seen a lot of stuff from a ton of different companies. There's a lot of companies that I'm not going to be able to cover just because there are so many who are either posting teasers or just posting photos of awesome things that they're working on for Transworld. But one of the main ones I'll start with is Distortions. So Distortions hasn't released too much yet, so I'm sure there's a lot more coming, but they've released a few new items. The main new animatronic so far is the Frankenstein. The Frankenstein is really cool. He has some crazy motion. It's kind of similar to their Frankenstein's Assault, which I actually do prefer Frankenstein's Assault over this one. But this one is still cool. The sculpt is great. They brought in a sculptor, and go watch that video because his backstory is really cool. But yeah, they brought in a sculptor for that, and then they added some crazy animation to it. From previous videos, it sounds like they're going to be bringing this crazy advanced Velociraptor. I believe Mike said it has like 16 movements in it, which is insane for any company. So excited to see that. They also announced that they're going to be bringing their giant skull, which is an awesome prop, and you can actually see them making it back on Making Monsters, which also leads me into their next prop. But yeah, if you want to see them making that and the rest of the body, they did a full half-body 30-foot skeleton with that head. You can watch that on Travel Channel, Making Monsters. It's a great show. You can learn a ton from it, and they will be bringing the head of that creature because they do sell that separately. But like I was saying, Making Monsters, another prop from Making Monsters is the Jet Alien. So that was customed for a walkthrough haunt, and it was a more kid-friendly haunt. So that's why they have that kid-friendly, awesome alien look. And it's kind of Roswell, but kind of not. It's definitely unique. They had Jordu sculpt that one, and I think it looks amazing. It's super professional. And I would love to get it just for like being in an office or some place like that. I wouldn't put it in the haunt because it is pretty kid-friendly. It's cute. But he has posable arms, so you can have it holding something. You can dress it. They did on the show. I believe they put like a Hawaiian shirt on him. And it does look really good. So that is a cool prop to customize and just keep as a kid-friendly piece. So some new statics they're bringing are the Scarecrow Wrath and the Alien Spider. Alien Spider I really do like. Both of these I really like. I don't think I'll be getting Scarecrow Wrath. Alien Spider I definitely want to get eventually, because I think that in the corner of like a ceiling would look so creepy. The face is awesome, and then that huge brain back of the spider, that's really cool. Scarecrow Wrath is an awesome piece as well. I would like to get that for a photo op. I just don't do many pumpkins, so that would be the only thing I could really use it for. So we'll see about that one. I did want to get it originally, but there's so many cool things coming out that I may have to save money for other things. But yeah, Scarecrow Wrath, awesome prop. It has a crow on his shoulder, which is Corvus, with glass eyes. Distortions used to do that on some masks, and I haven't seen it really recently. So glass eyes on something, that's really cool. And it looks great. But the Scarecrow does as well. His sculpt is awesome. Tom did that one. It looks perfect. And the eyes and the paint job over it all definitely a really cool prop. And the concept is really unique. We do get a lot of just normal scarecrows or normal pumpkins. This one kind of just has its own monster feel, so that is really cool too. I'm sure they'll also be bringing their Static Witch and Static Scarewolf as well, because both of those are new additions. Scarewolf last year came out as an animated prop. This year, it is a static as well. So I'm sure both of those will be there. Moving on to Poison props. Poison has some great releases this year. Last year was probably my favorite year of theirs overall. This year definitely comes pretty close. They have some really good items this year. Starting with my favorite, the Iron Maiden. This thing is awesome. That concept is crazy. Actually having it close on the person and then come back open, and it's different. The whole thing switched around. And I love the thought out movement of this piece, because the human at first is going crazy, thrashing around, trying to get out. Once it closes and opens back up, he's all stabbed up. So then it's literally just the head twitch. Everything else is kind of static because it's dying. So really, really cool piece. I really like the two new coffin props as well. They're really just unexpected. They have the coffin reacher and then the coffin drop window. Both of those, you really don't expect them to do what they do. The reacher really lunges out at you quick, and then the drop window, the window drops and he comes out. So both of those I think would be pretty good scares in Haunt. Another one that stood out, but I'm interested to see in person, is the new body lifted and contorted type character. This one is possessed and contorted. So it gets possessed and twists around in really weird ways, really unnatural ways, and I think it would definitely look really creepy in Haunt. Another one that stood out to me is the Angel of the Black Death. They already had the Angel of Death, which is the white version of that. I think this one's way creepier. It looks really, really creepy. It's more of like a Grim Reaper type look, because it's got that black hooded cloak instead of all the white like angel wing type look. I definitely like this one better, and the Angel of Death has always been one of my favorites of theirs, so this would definitely be one I'd be considering. So for Scare Factory, another major company at Transworld, we haven't really seen much yet. They did say that they're bringing 4 semis worth of new stuff, so that's amazing. Lots of new stuff from them for sure. Hopefully a lot of big items, because I love their big props. Last year they brought a 20-foot, which was incredible. But yeah, we should start seeing them within the next like week and a half, because usually what happens is people start posting photos of booths setting up, and the Dark Zone is obviously a huge place, and the Dark Zone is where Scare Factory is, along with Poison props. And Scare Factory sets out all their animatronics before the curtains are up, so photos get taken and people see all the stuff. So we should be seeing that pretty soon. Another company that's in the Dark Zone is Froggy's Fog. And if you don't know, Froggy's Fog is a huge part of Transworld. The lanyards are literally Froggy's Fog lanyards. They're like the main partnership of Transworld. But it's kind of weird to see them in the Dark Zone, because usually they have this elaborate booth outside, which they do. They still have that. But they also have a single booth in the Dark Zone. And they've been posting teasers, which I'll put on the screen here if you want to try to decipher them. I haven't figured out much. But they've said some things about like heat and just teasing the fact that they're going to be in that Dark Zone area. So we'll see. I'm sure there's some awesome things coming from them. Last year they brought that fog gun, and that thing was extremely popular. So I'm sure they're working on some awesome new designs. A few years back, they actually brought an entire volcano that actually erupted. And that was something they teased for as well. And that was really cool. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Another awesome new thing that's happening this year is Jordu Shell, the very talented horror artist, is going to be at Transworld live sculpting at the CFX booth. So definitely check that out. He's an amazing artist. You can check out his creations on his site. But also he's done stuff for other companies. Distortions, he was on Making Monsters a ton. He's done a ton for them. And he's done stuff like masks as well for other companies. So awesome artist, and he will be doing a live sculpture there. So moving on to more about the actual event. If you still want to go but haven't ordered tickets yet, they are still for sale. They're going up in price soon though, so order those quick, and order any events you want quick, because those sell out. Some I would definitely recommend are the City Museum. That one's really crazy. That museum is insane. You can climb around on things. There's like a mini amusement park on the roof. It's pretty crazy. The haunted house events, Lemp Brewery, The Darkness, both of those incredible haunts. Go check those out. You can do a behind the scenes where it's no actors, or you can go through with all the actors like a normal event. Both really cool experiences. And then the dance party is always super fun. It's a costume party, so you can show up in your best costume. For Midwest, at least, they did a contest. Oh, I'm not sure if they're doing it at Transworld, but hopefully, because that is also really fun. Transworld's also doing a new kind of ticket, which is the Premier Access ticket, and that gets you in 2 hours earlier than most people. And they pushed the normal opening time back 1 hour. So usually this would just be 1 hour before, but because they pushed the normal time back. Now that Premiere gets you in 2 hours before the other people. So for content purposes, I think that's worth it. Other than that, if you're trying to reserve something at a booth, if you're just trying to get some downtime to talk to your favorite creators, that's another good time to do it. Like for example, Distortions, Ed and Marsha are there, and everyone knows that. Everyone wants to talk to them because they're awesome. So if you want to talk to them, and get a chance before it gets super crowded, that might be a good time to do that. But if you're just ordering normal tickets, they are going to be a lot cheaper, and you will still get in and have plenty of time to see everything. Transworld also runs some other events. If you can't make the flight out to St. Louis, if you live far away, they do one in Texas, which is the Texas Haunters Convention. They do one here in Chicago, which is Midwest Haunters Convention. They have a new one now, which is the East Coast Haunters Convention. I'm going to be trying to go to both Midwest and East Coast for sure, and of course Transworld. But all of the conventions are great. Transworld's the big one, but all of them are great to go to. Another thing that I haven't really done yet, but I really need to, is the seminars. That's something you should definitely do, especially if you're working on moving into the professional industry instead of just a home haunt, because there's so many classes taught by some of the best people in the industry, and they're all about how to do that successfully. Because haunting is a lot about the fun and the passion, but also a lot about business, and you have to be really successful with it to continue, because haunts obviously cost a lot of money to run. But it's not just about that. There are also classes about very specific topics. For example, there's ones just about making the monsters for the haunts. There's ones about making sets. There's ones about more down the road things like fire safety if you're moving into a building, or super niche things like should I serve alcohol in a haunt. There is a whole seminar about that and how to do that because it can be important for the business. But yeah, lots of good things to learn, and it's from people who have been in this industry for a very long time. So you're learning a lot of information that they learned over all these years in like an hour-long seminar. So very worth it. But yeah, that's all for today. I'm super excited for Transworld. Hope to see a lot of you guys there. If you guys have any more questions about the event, definitely leave them down below. All right, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.